How's it going, guys? And welcome back to BL3's Forgotten, the series where I take a look at underused and not often talked about pieces of gear to determine whether or not they deserve to be remembered within the modern meta of the game or should be left behind and forgotten. And today we are taking a look at the Kaleidoscope. If you'd like to get the Kaleidoscope for yourself, you're going to want to fast travel over to the Lodge on Xylorgos, making your way into the Lodge and finding Mancubite startling around somewhere on the floor, who you're going to want to start petting. Upon petting him 69 times, you will be awarded the Kaleidoscope. Keep in mind this has to be done consecutively, as leaving the game or the map will reset this count. The Kaleidoscope is a purple-rarity unique Dahl pistol, which is always non-elemental as it has completely locked parts and also cannot be anointed. With the unique effect of while ADS'd, every third shot fired will be amped with 200% bonus elemental damage. This element stays the same as long as you are ADS'd. Once you break ADS for any reason, either manually or reloading or some other interruption, when you scope back in, the element will change. This change will always follow the same order, being fire, then shock, corrosive, cryo, radiation, and then back to fire. Also worth noting, whenever you fall into fight for your life, this pattern will reset back to fire regardless of where you were in it. So say you just started firing corrosive and going to fight for your life, you will be reset back to fire. Getting into things here, I just want to say I fucking love this weapon, just from the way you have to go about getting it, from just petting Mancubite to how it looks and just to how cool this unique effect is. It's a really neat gun, and I pretty much pick one up on all of my characters just kind of as a way to show appreciation for it. And because Mancubite is my base little red-pilled alpha male and deserves the pets. But actually getting into the viability of this thing, it actually holds up pretty damn well and can function even into True Guardian Takedown. While it isn't anything too amazing, and I definitely wouldn't want to use it for the entirety of a Guardian Takedown run, the fact that it functions while not anointed does go to show that this thing is pretty damn powerful for what it is. And I mean, it does make sense, having that almost 20k base damage, which gets amped for 200% elemental damage, with that elemental damage consistently cycling between every single element, meaning that you can just have coverage for anything that you need. It's kind of like if the troubleshooter wasn't just ooga booga, brain off, shoot gun, go pew pew, enemy die, drool on keyboard, twist balls and goes youch! But this does make for a very fun learning curve. Once you know that pattern and actually remember it well enough, you can really start to use it to your advantage. ADSing and breaking that ADS just to cycle through to the element that you want is a very satisfying gameplay loop. While it can maybe look a little bit quirky and potentially annoying, I find it really enjoyable, and I love guns that kind of do something like this. I like the goofy and quirky gameplay loops that add some sort of unique skill curve to using a weapon, and the Kaleidoscope has exactly that, while being a pretty strong gun in its own right. Now, I have been talking this gun up quite heavily, but don't you worry, there is some stink in its shit. This thing does kind of chew through ammo like a motherfucker, and granted, while it is pistol ammo, having a 6.4 fire rate does lead to you emptying mags pretty damn quick, and it does definitely take a toll on your ammo reserves to a noticeable degree. Especially not being anointed, while its damage is very good, and again, its unique effect is fucking fantastic, without an anointment in the endgame of BL3, it's not enough to not be chewing through a lot of bullets per enemy. And the big downside with this isn't even that you're blowing through pistol ammo, it's that you're losing your ADS every single time you have to reload, which does really suck when you pretty much have to reload every 1 to 2 enemies, and so that means the next enemies either you have to sit there and cycle, or you might just be stuck with corrosive for a hot second, which isn't a huge deal because every third shot still is getting that 200% amp damage bonus, but it is definitely a negative worth mentioning and does make ammo regen and mag size bonuses incredibly helpful with the Kaleidoscope. The less you've got to reload, the more you get to stick with whichever element you're currently on. Now, while I do really like the gimmick, there is another downside to it, and this one is a bit more of a skill issue. As I'm sure you've probably noticed in the background footage, my gameplay has not exactly been optimal, and it's because I find just fucking holding down right click very difficult to get adapted to. It's lower FOV, lower sensitivity, more screen clutter, because I mean you have the gun taking up the entire bottom half of your screen, which leads to me just kind of losing my target on screen pretty often, and I prefer being able to just ADS to kill an enemy and then backing out of the ADS to kind of get another target sighted, rather than just hard ADSing the entire time, which is honestly what ends up feeling the most awkward to me about this gun. Another small synergy worth mentioning, it does have a pretty inherent one with Zane just because of R-Man Flint. R-Man Flint gives you damage bonuses based off of ADSing, and this is a gun that functions entirely on ADSing. Now, if you do slap an an anointment on the Kaleidoscope, it becomes something that my therapist is going to hear about. The amount of times I've screamed Randy Pitchford's name in that office, man. But with an anointment, this brings the gun up to a legitimate legendary status. It solves the ammo issue a decent bit because, again, with that extra damage, you don't need to blow through a fucking magazine in like 2 enemies. And it just ups the damage to a point where it is genuinely competing with a lot of lower to mid-tier legendary weapons. Overall, the Kaleidoscope is a very good purple weapon. It's not only just very cool with a really fun design and an incredibly enjoyable learning curve to it, it is pretty damn good, pretty damn fun, and literally only held back by the fact that it was never able to be anointed, which I am getting more and more tired of saying every time I have to. But that's gonna about do it for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, definitely consider leaving a like, comment, subscribe, all of that. But before I return to an ethereal realm between the dimensional planes, I just want to mention that today, August 30th, I will be streaming the Gearbox PAX presentation live here on YouTube and also over my Twitch channel at 3 p.m. EST, which there will be a link to down in the description below, and just under that is a link to my Discord server where you can come and join and hang out. But with that all being said, I hope to see you guys in the next one.